Hey guys! So I decided to take some time off today to tell you a little bit about myself and to give you a little bit of insight on my life and what I've been through. I was born on March 27, 1950 in New York City. To the disbelief of many people, I was actually not born in the Dominican Republic. I was basically raised there, so that's the reason why many people do think that, but I wasn't born there. When I was 3 months old, my parents decided to go back to the Dominican Republic. However, at the time, DR was going through a really rough time with the dictatorship of Trujillo. It was a very sad and oppressive time where Trujillo took the jobs of many people to give it to his own family, or he would basically take their money for his own wealth. But then in 1960, we quickly left because my father got involved in some crazy things and he tried to overthrow Trujillo's dictatorship and it completely failed, so we had to flee quickly. At the age of 10, when we arrived back to New York City, as you could have guessed, my English was all but perfect. The mix of Spanish and English really didn't make the situation any better, so it was a very embarrassing time for me. There were times where I didn't even know when a word in English would end or when it would start. It was embarrassing. Unfortunately, I didn't know enough English to realize that there were some kids bullying me. In my school, I was constantly being called a spick, which is now a derogatory word for Hispanic, but at the time, it was really commonly used to refer to Hispanics, or in my case, to refer to me. My mom, who really tried to shelter me from this bad, evil world, she would insist that they were saying speak, but I wasn't that dumb. All the discrimination that was going on really caused me to put up walls and to give into literature and just indulge myself in reading and writing, and that was all that would make me happy at the time. My teachers did begin to encourage me to write, and very soon I realized that that was what I really loved to do. When I turned 13, my parents sent me to a boarding school because they didn't like the local schools in New York. Because we were rarely ever together, my relationship with them suffered tremendously. It was a really hard time for me, but hey, what can you do? I'm successful now, and that's all that matters. But alright, enough with my early life information. Let me tell you a little bit about my success. I attended Connecticut College from 1967 to 1969. There, I was lucky enough to win the Benjamin T. Marsgall Poetry Prize. Then, I moved to Middlebury College in 1971. But I still wasn't happy, so I decided to move to Syracuse University in 1975. After I earned my master's degree from Syracuse, I fell in love with teaching. So I got a job as a writer-in-residence for the Kentucky Arts Commission. From there on, I traveled all over the country, going to elementary schools, high schools, colleges, communities, anywhere. I'm known as the most critically and successful Latina writer. Yes, I'm just that awesome. I have written many types of works, for example, novels, essays, poetry, children's books, and many more. My first published work was a collection of poetry, which was called The Homecoming, and it was published in 1984. I was really inspired by painting by Pierre Bonnard, which was at the time rare, but he was really my inspiration to all the poems I wrote in The Homecoming. Then came my first novel, called How the Garcia Girls Lost Their Accent, which was published in 1991. It was actually the first book written in English by a Dominican writer. It was also a very personal novel where I incorporated many of my own struggles and my own life, I guess you can say, into the book. My second novel was In the Time of the Butterflies, and that was published in 1994. Third was the novel Joe in 1997, and I wrote that as a sequel for my first novel. And my all-time favorite, In the Name of Salome, which was published in 2000. It's an amazing book where I write about the stories of a mother and a daughter. I explore many different kinds of themes throughout the book, and my goal is to ultimately have people see how alike the two women are despite growing up in different circumstances. It's amazing. I recommend you guys all read it. You guys will love it. In many of my works, I do explore the different cultures I've been raised in, the politics in the DR during the 1960s, and the oppression the women had to face through that time. I've also been extremely fortunate to win several awards. For example, I received the Lamont Prize from the Academy of American Poets in 1972, the Third Women Press Awards in 1986, the Bell Prix Medal in 2004 and in 2010. And in 2002, I received the Hispanic Heritage Award in Literature. It was really an amazing feeling to be noticed by so many people. I put in so much effort and love in all of my works that every prize really makes me proud of myself. So that's a little bit about me and my career. Now I want to show you guys a short trailer for my movie based on my novel, In the Time of the Butterflies. I hope you all enjoy it. Ciao!